Dear friends, I'm Dr. James Walker, and I've just turned 60, 30 years in. The field of geriatric medicine in the United States have taught me one simple yet profound truth: muscles are the most loyal friends of old age. When people hear the word muscles, many smile and think I'm not an athlete anymore. I don't need a strong body, but I want you to pause for a moment and really think about this. Muscles aren't just about appearance. They are the silent foundation that helps you walk steadily, keeps your heart strong, protects your brain, and yes, even helps you live longer. I still remember one afternoon a few years ago, a man named Robert, 68 years old, came to my clinic. He was careful, ate healthy, walked every morning, didn't smoke, didn't drink. But recently he said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm slowing down. I climb a few stairs and my legs tremble, my shoulders ache. It's like my body doesn't listen to me anymore." When I ran his test, the results shocked him. Robert had lost nearly 30% of his muscle mass compared to 10 years ago. I looked at him and said, "Robert, you're not getting weaker because of age. You're getting weaker because your body is forgetting how to create strength." He went silent for a long moment. Then he nodded, eyes glistening. "I understand now. I've let myself drift without noticing." In medicine, we call that condition sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. It doesn't arrive like a heart attack or make noise like a fever. It's silent, like a small ticking clock, taking away a bit of strength each day. And then one morning you realize you can't open a jar, can't stand up quickly, or need to hold the railing when you climb the stairs. But what saddens me most isn't the number on the chart. It's how many people accept it as fate. They say, "Well, doctor, that's old age. Everyone gets weaker." And I usually smile, look at them for a while, and gently reply, "No, aging doesn't make you weak. Giving up does." Think of your body as a house. Your muscles are the pillars that support everything: your heart, lungs, bones, even your mind. When those pillars weaken, the whole house begins to shake. You may still eat well and sleep enough, but without strong muscles, your body can't absorb energy properly, protect your heart, or keep you stable. I've seen patients who broke bones from a simple fall because the muscles around their hips meant to protect them had vanished. And after just a few months in bed, they lost even more muscle, lost confidence, and slowly lost faith in themselves. It may sound dramatic, but it's true. Every year, millions of Americans over 60 are hospitalized for one simple reason: muscle weakness. But I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to tell you something wonderful: muscles can be rebuilt. Whether you're 55, 65, or 75, your body is still listening to you. It still knows how to rebuild itself if you send it the right signals. And that doesn't start in the gym. It starts right in your daily life, in how you eat, sleep, move, and think. I've seen people who could barely stand walk for hours again after just a few months of change. I've seen people who once hated mirrors now smiling with confidence, cooking healthy meals, and moving with joy. And I believe you can too. You see, my favorite part of medicine isn't treating illness. It's witnessing the light return to a patient's eyes when they realize they can still change. A woman named Margaret, 72, once relied on a walker. She told me, "I thought my world had shrunk to this tiny room." But when we started light exercise, proper protein intake, and better sleep, 3 months later, she walked into my office without the walker, holding a basket of vegetables, and said, "Doctor, I just grew my own garden." That is the power of belief and of muscle. Because when you restore physical strength, you also restore the strength of your spirit. I often tell my patients, your body never betrays you. It only reflects how you treat it. If you give it nourishment, movement, and rest, it will give you back strength, clarity, and longevity. Age 50, 60, or 70 is not the end of strength. It's the moment to reconnect with your body, to learn balance, to listen, and to care. Again, not to be young again, but to live fully. My friends, today I want to begin this journey with you. The journey to rediscover the power of your muscles, your heart, and your will. Because I truly believe age doesn't take your strength away. It only reminds you that it's time to live smarter with your body. In the next parts, I'll share why muscles weaken, how to rebuild them, and how to nurture your inner strength of both body and mind. If you've ever thought it's too late to change, stay with me, because this journey has only just begun. Dear friends, after we cross the age of 50, something fascinating and also challenging begins to happen inside our bodies. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't announce itself, but each year we lose about 1 to 2% of our muscle mass if we don't take proper care. And by the time you reach 70, that loss can reach 30% or more. It sounds scary, but understanding why is the first step toward reversing it. I want you to imagine your body as a small factory that works 24 hours a day. Each muscle fiber is like millions of silent workers. When you were young, they worked with passion constantly, rebuilding and responding to every command you gave. Run, lift this, climb those stairs. But as time passes, the factory's manager, your anabolic hormones, starts to grow tired. After 50, hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone GH decline sharply. These are the signals that help your body build muscle, recover after movement, and burn fat efficiently. Now, as those signals weaken, your body may still have the raw materials like protein, but it no longer knows how to use them. It's like having cement and steel at the construction site, but the workers are too weak to build. Another common reason I see in most of my patients is poor absorption. Aging makes the stomach produce less acid, slows down the intestines, and reduces the body's ability to absorb protein and vitamins. Many people tell me, "Doctor, I eat normally, but I still feel weak." And I always reply, it's not about what you eat, but how much your body can absorb. Remember this, you can eat fish meat and eggs every day, but if your digestion is weak, those nutrients never reach your muscles. I call this the silent deficiency. You can't see it, but your body feels it every single day. Then there's another reason, an inactive lifestyle. I know many people after retirement think I've worked all my life. Now it's time to rest, and they truly rest. They sit more, move less, spend hours on the couch or in front of the TV. But my friends' muscles don't understand rest that way. When you stop sending movement signals to your muscles, they assume you don't need them anymore and begin to dissolve to save energy. That's why even after a few weeks of hospitalization or inactivity, people can lose up to 10% of their muscle strength. Not because of illness, but because the body has turned off the survival switch for muscles. Another often overlooked factor is micronutrient imbalance. You might eat enough, but if you lack vitamin D3, K2, magnesium, B12, or omega-3, your body can't synthesize protein or rebuild muscle cells overnight. I call these minerals the five brothers of muscle regeneration. Without them, muscle cells are like bricks without cement, fragile, scattered, and easy to break. Medical research shows that vitamin D3 deficiency increases the risk of muscle loss and falls in older adults by up to 50%. Just one missing element can determine whether you live independently or depend on others for daily life. And finally, the most silent thief of all, poor sleep. Many people underestimate the power of sleep. They think a few hours is enough, but the truth is muscles aren't built in the gym, they're rebuilt in deep sleep. During sleep, your body releases growth hormone, triggering repair and rebuilding of muscle cells. If your sleep is interrupted by stress, noise, or late nights, then even if you eat right and exercise properly, your body cannot recover. I once had a patient named Thomas, 64, who told me, "I train regularly, eat well, but I still don't see progress." After careful review, I found he was sleeping only 4 to 5 hours a night due to business stress. I told him, "Thomas, if you don't give your body rest, it will never have the chance to become strong." 3 months later, he came back looking completely different, brighter skin, stronger posture, a confident smile. He said, "Doctor, it turns out what I was missing wasn't protein, it was a good night's sleep." All of these hormone decline, poor absorption, inactivity, nutrient deficiency, lack of sleep don't happen overnight. They're like drops of rain on a stone, slowly wearing it down over time. And one morning you wake up feeling weaker, slower, and more tired, and you don't understand why. But believe me, once you understand the mechanism, you hold the key to reverse it. Even weakened muscles still listen to you. They're just waiting for you to send the signal, "I still need you." A little movement, a bit more attention to your meals, and a few peaceful nights of sleep, and your body will respond with strength. I often tell my patients the human body isn't programmed to age, it's programmed to adapt. And that's why I love my work, because every day I witness the miraculous recovery of people who once thought their time was over. A 70-year-old man doing squats every morning with a smile. A 65-year-old woman who once had back pain now lifting her grandchild with ease. They haven't become younger, but they've become stronger in a new way, resilient, flexible, and full of meaning. My dear friends, understanding why muscle loss happens isn't to make you afraid, it's to remind you that you have the power to slow it down. In the next part, I'll share how to rebuild and maintain muscle after 50 without gyms, without heavy weights, just through simple scientific and incredibly effective principles I've used with thousands of patients. Remember, this true strength doesn't come from age. It comes from how you choose to treat your body every single day. See you in the next chapter where we begin the journey to rebuild muscle and restore youth from within. Dear friends, muscles are not built in the gym. They are built at the dining table. Every meal, no matter how small, is a message you send to your body. I want to be stronger. Many people think that after 50, eating should be light, simple, and easy to digest. But the truth is, eating less and eating wrong can make your body weaker faster, because muscles are like a construction site that needs materials to maintain itself. And those materials are amino acids, the building blocks of protein. I once had a patient named Linda, 63, from California. She came to see me because she often felt fatigued, had muscle pain, and was losing endurance when walking. Interestingly, her diet seemed clean. She only ate vegetables, fruits, and whole grain bread. Sounds healthy, right? But her tests showed she was severely deficient in protein and vitamin D3. I told her, Linda, you're feeding your body, but you're not nourishing your muscles. After adding salmon, boiled eggs, Greek yogurt, and vitamin D3 supplements within 8 weeks, she told me I'm sleeping better, climbing stairs feels easier, and the pain is gone. That's when I realized something I want to remind you of today. There is no youth without protein. Muscles are built from 3 key nutritional groups. 1. High-quality protein from salmon, chicken breast, eggs, Greek yogurt, or fermented soy. 2. Natural collagen found in bone broth, fish skin, soybeans, and black sesame. 3. Supportive vitamins and minerals that help bind those protein bricks into strong muscle fibers. Vitamin C helps synthesize collagen. Vitamin D3 and K2 guide calcium to the right places, your bones and muscles. Magnesium and B12 strengthen the nerve muscle connection. I often tell my patients, don't think collagen is just for your skin. Collagen is the cement that keeps your body from collapsing. When you're young, your body produces collagen naturally. But after 50, that process drops by more than half. That's why adding collagen-rich foods and vitamin C is the simplest way to repair the weak spots in your body. A bowl of warm bone broth, a glass of fresh orange juice, or a few pieces of pan-seared salmon, small things, but they are your body's repair materials every day. Think of your body as a garden. Protein is the seed, collagen is the soil, and vitamins are the sunlight, water, and wind. If one is missing, the garden becomes barren and the plants cannot bloom. But when all 3 are present, even at 60 or 70, your body can blossom again. One crucial thing people often forget: timing. Your body needs not only what, but also when. I call the evening meal the nighttime muscle recovery meal. Eat too late and your body doesn't digest in time. Eat too early and energy runs out before bedtime. The ideal time is 2 hours before sleep. A bowl of fish soup, green vegetables, a few slices of avocado, or a handful of walnuts. This is how I help my patients sleep better and trigger natural muscle regeneration. Science shows that older adults absorb protein less efficiently, so they need a bit more than younger people. If you're 60, you need about 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight each day. That means if you weigh 60 kilos, you need about 70, 80 grams of protein, roughly 2 eggs, a portion of fish, a cup of yogurt, and some soy. Not too much, but enough to tell your body, I'm still building, not giving up. And finally, I want to say this: food is not just for living, it's for healing. Every meal, no matter how simple, can be medicine if you choose the right ingredients. You don't need strict diets or complicated plans. Just remember that muscles are living tissue. They need to be nourished, listened to, and loved. I'll never forget what my former patient Robert once told me after regaining his strength through diet changes. Doctor, I don't just feel stronger, I feel alive again. My friends, when you eat right, you're planting seeds of strength within yourself. Start today, not with a pill or a supplement, but with a good meal, a meal that honors your body. Because when you feed your muscles the right way, your body rewards you with its greatest gift, vitality. In the next part, we'll talk about movement, how to send signals to awaken your muscles after 50, because eating right is only the first step. Living right, that's the full journey. I always tell my patients the body was not made to sit still. We were born to move, to walk, to bend, to reach, to feel. Life through every breath. And the miracle is when you move, your body begins to heal itself. I know after 50, the word exercise can sound intimidating. Many people tell me, "Doctor, I'm too old, exercise won't help." Or my knees hurt, my back is weak, I'm afraid of getting injured. I understand that fear. But I always smile and say, what makes you weak isn't age, it's stopping movement. Because muscles are like a river. When water flows, it's clear, fresh, and full of life. But when it stops, it becomes stagnant and dies. Your body is the same without movement. It ages faster than you realize. 1. Spring morning a few years ago, I met Thomas, 67. He was a retired engineer, strong, hardworking, but after retirement, he barely moved. At first, he said, "I just want to rest." But after 2 years, his muscles weakened, his knees ached, his balance declined, and he feared falling every time he left home. I asked him, "Thomas, do you remember the feeling of walking in the wind?" He smiled sadly. "It's been a long time, doctor. We started small. Each morning he stood up and sat down 10 times. After a week, he walked around his house for 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 15. 3 months later, he walked into my office with a strong stride, bright eyes, and said, 'Doctor, I can hear my body again.' I call this movement in harmony with age, not forced, not flashy, just listening to your body and moving within its rhythm. No heavy weights, no gym, require just consistency. Because for the body, what matters is not intensity, it's the signal. As long as you send the message, 'I still need you every day,' your muscles will respond slowly but surely. I often guide my patients to start with simple exercises. Light squats, stand up and sit down, 10-15 times a day to maintain leg strength. Brisk walking, 30 minutes a day, or 3 sessions of 10 minutes each. Balance practice. Stand on one leg for 10 seconds, then switch sides. Stretch your legs while watching TV to keep blood flowing and activate your muscles. It may sound simple, but these small actions create great change. Because for your body, movement is the ultimate affirmation, I'm still alive. Science confirms this. Harvard research shows that light daily exercise can reduce the risk of muscle loss by up to 40% in adults over 60. Even brisk walking 20-30 minutes a day can increase muscle density and improve memory. Why? Because when you move, blood flows better. Oxygen reaches your brain, and your heart, brain, and muscles perform together like a perfect symphony. I had a patient named Margaret, 72, who once needed a walker. At first she said, "Doctor, I don't think I can do anything anymore." But I told her, "We're not training to be young again. We're training to live better than yesterday." And she began by watering her plants every morning. That's it, bending, standing, carrying a watering can, walking gently around her garden. 3 months later, she could walk around the neighborhood, then joined a senior yoga class. She told me, "Doctor, I feel like I've come back to life." That's a moment I'll never forget, my friends. The human body is like a musical instrument. If you don't play it often, the strings loosen and the sound fades. But if you touch it daily, it sings again, not as loud as in your 20s, but deeper, warmer, and full of life. Movement doesn't just strengthen your legs, it steadies your heart, deepens your breath, and clears your mind. Sometimes I see my patients change not only in body, but in their eyes. They start smiling, more sleeping better, and feeling joy again. Because when the body moves, the soul is set free. So if you're watching this and thinking, "I'm too old to start," remember, no one is too old to take one more step. No one is too late to begin again with their own body. Just one small step today opens a new door for tomorrow's health. In the next part, I'll share another key factor: sleep. Because even if you eat right and move daily, muscles truly rebuild only in deep rest. That's when your body begins its silent miracle, repairing, rebuilding, and renewing. Stay with me. This journey of restoration has only just begun. Dear friends, I often tell my patients, muscles aren't built in the gym. They're rebuilt in your sleep. It sounds simple, but it's a truth many people forget. We live in a noisy, fast-paced world where sleep has become a luxury. So many people tell me, "Doctor, I can get by with just a few hours as long as I can still function." But they don't realize that every lost hour of sleep is an hour the body misses its chance to heal. Sleep is like the body's repair station. When you fall into deep sleep, the brain sends signals for your organs to begin their quiet work. Muscles are patched up after a long day of movement. Growth hormone is released most powerfully at night. The nervous system is cleansed and brain cells remove toxins. All of that only happens when you sleep long and deep. If you only nap lightly or stay up late night after night, your body never reaches true recovery. You wake up tired, sore, foggy. Even if you slept 7 hours, it wasn't deep sleep. I remember a patient named Robert, 70 years old, who exercised regularly. He ate well, walked every morning, yet constantly felt sore and drained. When I asked about his sleep, he laughed. "I only sleep 4 hours a night. I still think about my old work." I told him, "Robert, you can train right, eat right, but if you don't sleep enough, your body will never rebuild. Muscles need sleep the way trees need rain." We created a simple nightly routine. Turn off the phone 1 hour before bed. Drink a warm glass of milk with magnesium. Practice deep breathing for 10 minutes, inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 2, exhaling for 6. After just 3 weeks, Robert returned and said, "Doctor, not only am I sleeping better, I wake up feeling light, like my body's been renewed." That's the miracle of deep sleep. During those hours, growth hormone, the same one that helps children grow and keeps adults strong, is released at its peak. Research shows that between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., growth hormone levels can rise 3-5 times higher than during the day. That's why people who sleep late, even if they sleep 7 hours, never feel as restored as those who sleep early and deeply. Your body has its own biological clock. If you respect it, it rewards you with vitality. If you fight it with late nights, midnight snacks, and constant stress, it responds with a fatigue, muscle weakness, and lost energy. Imagine your body as a team of tiny engineers. During the day, they work tirelessly to keep you moving, thinking, and living. But at night, when you sleep, they finally have time to repair muscles, joints, and cells. If you don't sleep, you've unknowingly sent them home. And in the morning, you wonder why you feel weak, foggy, and uninspired. I've been there myself, years of sleepless nights as a medical resident. Those endless shifts drained my energy, blurred my memory, and dulled my spirit. When I finally learned to meditate before bed, shut off blue light, and sleep earlier, everything changed. I realized sleep isn't time to rest. It's time to rebirth. Dear friends, if you want to protect your muscles, you must protect your sleep. Start with small habits. Stop eating at least 2 hours before bed. Keep your bedroom cool, quiet, and dim. Drink warm water or milk. Listen to soft music or read a few pages of a book. And most importantly, don't take your worries to bed. When your mind is noisy, your body can't rest. Remember this: sleep isn't the end of your day. It's the beginning of a new body. For tomorrow, let each night be a gentle conversation between you and your body. Give it the chance to restore, repair, and prepare for a stronger tomorrow. In the next part, I'll share with you the fourth solution: replenishing the forgotten micronutrients, the tiny nutrients that play a massive role in rebuilding muscles, keeping your heart strong, and slowing natural aging. Stay with me. The journey of rejuvenation from within still has many miracles ahead. Dear friends, when I was a young medical student, my professor once told me something I'll never forget. People don't die from a lack of medicine, they die from neglecting the little things. And I've come to understand that more deeply than ever after working with older patients. Many of them eat well, sleep well, exercise regularly, and yet they feel weak, tired, and struggle to recover muscle strength. The reason lies in the small things we often overlook: micronutrients. I call them the silent workers of the body. So you can't see them, but they're the ones keeping your body's structure from collapsing. Among hundreds of nutrients, there are 5 I always remind my patients about: vitamin D3, vitamin K2, magnesium, vitamin B12, and omega-3. They're small, but they form the foundation of strength, memory, and longevity. Vitamin D3, the sunshine of life. It's the key that unlocks muscle and bone regeneration. It helps your body absorb calcium, strengthens muscle fibers, and keeps your immune system balanced. Yet over 70% of people over 50 in the US are deficient in D3 simply because they don't get enough sun. I once had a patient, Margaret, 70, who always felt weak, sleepy, and achy. Her D3 level was half the normal range. We started daily morning sunbathing for 15 minutes and added 2,000 IU of D3. 2 months later, she came back smiling brightly, saying, "Doctor, it feels like the light came back into my body." Vitamin K2, the guide for calcium. Many people take calcium every day, but still suffer from osteoporosis or calcified arteries. Why? Because calcium goes to the wrong places. Calcium only works when paired with vitamin K2, the navigator that directs it to your bones and muscles. Without K2, calcium gets lost, sticking to arteries and joints, making the body weak and stiff. I always recommend combining K2 MK7 form with D3. They're the golden duo of midlife. One opens the door to absorption, the other shows calcium where to go. Magnesium, current of life. Magnesium powers over 300 processes in the body, especially in the heart and muscles. Without it, you're prone to cramps, rapid heartbeat, insomnia, tightness, and chronic fatigue. Once I treated a man named Henry, 66, who suffered nightly muscle spasms. His tests showed severe magnesium deficiency. We added magnesium glycinate in the evenings, and within 2 weeks, he slept deeply and the spasms disappeared. He said something I'll never forget. Doctor, only when my body became silent did I understand what peace feels. Like magnesium doesn't just calm muscles, it calms the mind. It helps you sleep. Deeper stress, less, and wake with renewed energy. Vitamin B12, fuel for the nerves and muscles. If your body were a car, B12 would be the clean fuel keeping the engine smooth. It helps your nervous system send messages between your brain and muscles. Without it, you may feel tingling, weakness, dizziness, memory, loss, and fatigue. Vegetarians and older adults often lack B12 because of low stomach acid. That's why I always recommend regular blood tests and, if needed, methylcobalamin supplements, which are safe and easily absorbed. Omega-3, the lubricant of longevity. Omega-3 fatty acids reduce inflammation, protect the heart, sharpen memory, and soften muscle fibers. They're the oil that keeps every system running smoothly. Studies show that adults over 60 with higher omega-3 levels have up to 30% lower risk of muscle loss and stroke. I tell my patients to eat salmon, mackerel, chia seeds, flax seeds, or take pure fish oil daily. Just one small spoonful can add years of healthy living. Dear friends, these micronutrients are quiet and invisible, but they define the lifespan of your muscle cells. They form the solid ground for your muscles to rebuild, your heart to beat steadily, and your mind to stay sharp. I often tell my patients, you can live without medicine, but you can't live without minerals, because when your body is nourished, it heals itself. Fatigue fades, pain disappears, sleep deepens, and peace returns. Remember, health doesn't come from grand gestures. It comes from small, consistent choices every day. A D3 capsule in the morning, a spoonful of fish oil, a glass of magnesium-rich milk before bed. These aren't routines. They're thank you notes to the body that has carried you through half a century. In the next part, I'll share the fifth solution: living with purpose, feeding your muscles with the mind. Because when your spirit is strong, your body will never truly grow old. Dear friends, after more than 30 years in medicine, I've seen so many people grow weak, not because of illness, but because they lost the reason to stay strong. I often say the body cannot be healthy if the mind has already given up. Muscles aren't just fed by protein or vitamins, they're nourished by purpose, by joy, and by the reason you wake up each morning. I remember a special patient, Eleanor, 74 years old. She came to see me after her husband passed away, carrying deep sorrow. For months, she barely left her bed. Her body weakened, her legs trembled, her heart raced, and her blood pressure was unstable. When I asked Eleanor, would you like to start moving again, she shook her head gently. Doctor, I just don't see a reason to try anymore. I paused, then said softly, then let's find a new reason, no matter how small. We started with a single plant. I asked her to take care of it every day, water it, trim it, and place it under the morning sun. 3 months later, she returned, her steps steadier, her smile brighter, and she said, Doctor, I've planted 3 more. And I truly feel stronger. When you have a purpose, even a small one, your body listens to your mind. It begins to release positive hormones, endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine, the emotional vitamins that reduce stress, boost energy, strengthen immunity, and help muscles recover faster. Science calls it the mind-body connection. But to me, it's simply the power of belief. I remember another patient, Robert, 80 years old, who came to my clinic with a walker. He said, Doctor, I know I'll never walk normally again. I looked at him and said, Robert, if today you take just one more step, then yesterday you've already won. We trained every day, 5 minutes, then 10. One day he walked in without his walker. I smiled in surprise. Robert, you did it. He grinned, his eyes glistening. I did, Doctor. because I wanted to walk my granddaughter through the park. And in that moment, I understood there is no weak body, only a soul that's lost its will. My friends, I truly believe that. Real strength doesn't live in the muscles, it lives in the spirit. Because when your mind is steady, your body will find a way to adapt. When you have faith, every cell in your body begins to listen and heal. I've witnessed people who thought they had no hope find strength again simply by living for something greater than themselves. Some started gardening, some learned painting music, or simply spent time teaching their grandchildren how to bake. And little by little, their bodies returned along with their smiles. I once read a fascinating study from Harvard University. People over 60 who have a clear sense of purpose have a 43% lower risk of death compared to those who feel aimless. Why? Because purpose is a form of energy. It keeps the heart steady, the brain alert, and the muscles alive. When you have a reason to wake up each morning, you're sending your body a message. I still have something to do. I still have a journey to walk. Think about this. When we're young, we live to achieve career recognition, success. But as we grow older, our purpose changes. It becomes gentler, deeper. Maybe it's tending a small garden, helping someone in need, or simply staying healthy to take a morning. Walk with the one you love. Whatever it is, hold on to it, because that's the flame that keeps your body from fading. My friends, the body and the mind are two sides of the same coin. If your mind sinks into worry, your body weakens. But if you feed your mind with love, hope, and gratitude, your body will grow stronger naturally. Always remember, a healthy body begins with a heart that knows why it wants to live. In the next part, I'll share with you the sixth solution: nourishing the heart, feeding the muscles from within. Because if muscles are the strength of the body, the heart is the source of life itself. I often tell my patients, muscles are the power of the body, but the heart is the soul of life. We can live days without food, hours without water, but if the heart stops beating for just a few seconds, everything ends. So if you want to stay strong, start from the deepest place, your heartbeat. I remember a patient named George, 69 years old. He had always been active, but after a mild heart attack, he became afraid to move. Every time his heart raced, he panicked, afraid that one day it might betray him. I sat beside him and said, "Gently, George, your heart is not your enemy. It's just tired and asking you to listen." So we began the journey of listening to the heart, not through medicine, but through breathing and reconnection. The heart and muscles are deeply connected. When the heart is strong, blood flows freely, delivering oxygen and nutrients to your muscles. But when the heart is weak or under constant stress, blood vessels tighten, circulation slows, and your muscles begin to starve, growing weaker, slower, and more fatigued. That's why caring for the heart isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. A peaceful heart sends positive energy to every cell, keeping the body in harmony and motion. I often teach my patients a simple breathing exercise I call heart breathing. You can try it right now. Sit comfortably, place one hand on your chest, and feel your heartbeat. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds, hold for 2, and exhale slowly for 6. Repeat 10 times morning and evening. After just a few minutes, you'll feel your heartbeat slow, your breath deepen, and your mind calm. Science calls it heart coherence, a state where the heart, brain, and body move in rhythm. In that state, blood pressure stabilizes stress hormones. Drop-in muscle cells absorb oxygen more efficiently. A study from the Heart Math Institute in the US found that just 5 minutes of this breathing each day can lower cortisol by 23% and double the healing hormone DHEA. That means with nothing more than your breath, you can activate your body's natural power to heal. I once asked one of my 75-year-old patients, Patrick, "What keeps you walking every morning, even in the cold?" He smiled and said, "Softly, because every step helps me hear my heartbeat. It reminds me I'm still here, I'm still alive." I was silent for a long time. That one sentence carried the entire meaning of heart health. It's not about exercise or medication. It's about awareness, about gratitude for each beat that quietly keeps you alive. Friends, to care for your heart, you don't need anything complicated. Walk 30 minutes a day, preferably in the morning or late afternoon. Listen to calm music, laugh often, and let go of what weighs you down. Those simple things don't just lift your spirit, they heal your heart. I often tell my patients, let your heart beat in rhythm with gratitude. Because every time you're grateful, your heartbeat slows, your breath deepens, and your entire body enters a state of healing. If you ever feel tired, anxious, or restless, pause for a moment. Place your hand on your chest, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and exhale. Softly, you'll realize your heart never left you. It's always been there, waiting for you to listen. My friends, the human body is like an orchestra. Muscles are the powerful instruments, but the heart is the conductor. If the heart is calm, everything plays in harmony. If the heart is weary, the whole song falls apart. So let each day begin with a deep breath, a peaceful heartbeat, and a gentle whisper. Thank you, my heart, for still beating today. In the next part, I'll share with you the seventh solution, training the brain. Keeping your mind strong like your muscles, because when your mind stays sharp, your brain and body move as one, and that is the secret to living clear, strong, and joyful after 50. Dear friends, we've talked a lot about nutrition, about protein, vitamins, and healthy food. But there's one element that many people forget, the emotional state you're in when you eat. I often tell my patients, you don't just eat with your mouth, you eat with your mind. Because the same meal can nourish or harm you depending on whether you eat it in peace or in stress. If you eat while rushing, worrying, or feeling sad, your body cannot fully absorb the energy from that meal. But when you eat in gratitude and calm, each nutrient becomes a natural medicine that heals from within. I remember a patient named Sarah, 65 years old. She suffered from chronic digestive issues even though she ate very healthy foods. She said, "Doctor, I eat all the right things. Why do I still feel bloated, tired, and heavy?" I asked, "Tell me, what's your usual mealtime like?" She smiled sadly. "I usually eat alone in front of the TV or while watching the news." I nodded gently and said, "Sarah, it's not what you eat, it's how you eat. You've simply forgotten to connect with your meal." I asked her to turn off the TV, sit at the table, eat slowly, chew carefully, and before every meal whisper a small thank you for the food form, the cook, and for her body that receives it. 2 months later, she came back with a bright smile. "Doctor," she said, "my stomach feels light and I'm happy. When I eat, I smile too." Because sometimes healing doesn't come from a prescription but from presence. Modern science calls it mindful eating, eating with awareness. When you eat slowly, your brain fully registers the taste, your body releases the right digestive enzymes, your heart rate slows, and your nervous system relaxes. Studies show that people who practice mindful eating absorb nutrients, better reduce inflammation, balance blood sugar, and sleep more soundly. The miracle is this: a peaceful mind can turn food into medicine, but stress, anger, or sadness can turn food into poison. Because the digestive system is the body's second brain. It reacts not only to food, but to your emotions. I have a small habit I'd like to share with you. Whenever I sit down for a meal, I pause for a few seconds, look at the food, and smile. Not because it's fancy, but because I feel grateful. Grateful to the earth, to the farmers, to the cook, and to my body still strong enough to sit, eat, and taste the beauty of life. That small act changes everything. Food no longer just nourishes the body, it nourishes the soul. A peaceful meal can heal pain that no medicine can. I once asked a 78-year-old man, healthy without any supplements, "What's your secret?" He smiled gently. "I eat as if every meal were my last, so I chew slowly, savor fully, and never complain." That sentence stayed with me for years. When you cherish each bite, you are cherishing your life. My friends, eating with peace doesn't mean you must diet or restrict yourself. It simply means being present, hearing the sound of your chewing, smelling the aroma, seeing the colors, and thanking life. Try this, so put your phone away. Take one deep breath before eating. Eat a little slower and notice that you're truly alive. You'll see that food becomes more than energy. It becomes therapy, healing both body and soul. Remember this simple truth: there is no ordinary meal. Every meal is an opportunity to heal. Because when you eat with peace, you're telling your body, "I love you." And in its own miraculous way, your body will answer with health, balance, and joy. In the next and final part, I want to talk about the greatest medicine of all: connection and love, the healing energy stronger than any drug. Dear friends, I've spoken about protein, vitamins, sleep, movement, sunlight, breath, and calmness. But today I want to share with you the most powerful medicine science has never been able to make. It's love and the connection between human beings. I remember one special patient, Thomas, 76 years old. He had lost his wife 10 years earlier, and lived alone in a small house outside the city. When he came to see me, he wasn't physically ill yet. He felt tired, weak, couldn't sleep, and had no appetite. All his tests were perfectly normal. So I asked him, softly, Thomas, do you have anyone to talk to each day? He lowered his head. No one, doctor. My kids are busy, neighbors work all day. The house is painfully quiet. I understood immediately. Loneliness is the quietest disease of aging. No medicine can cure it, only people can heal people. I encouraged him to join a senior volunteer group where they cooked, talked, and helped others. 3 months later, he came back walking faster, speaking louder, eyes shining. He smiled and said, Doctor, I guess I never needed medicine. I just needed someone to talk to. He was right. The human body doesn't only need nutrition, it needs warmth, laughter, and human touch. When the heart feels connected, the muscles grow stronger and the mind comes alive. Researchers at Harvard followed more than 700 people for 75 years and found a simple truth. The greatest predictor of health and happiness is not wealth or genetics. It's the quality of our relationships. People with strong social bonds, family, friends, neighbors have lower rates of heart disease, less depression, and live 7 to 10 years longer. I saw this myself while visiting a nursing home in Colorado. There were two groups of elders, both the same age. One group kept to themselves, quiet and withdrawn. The other group laughed. Together, gardened, played music, and shared stories. 3 years later, the second group was healthier, sharper, and nearly disease-free. Not because they took more supplements, but because they lived in love. My friends, we weren't born to live alone. The human body is wired to thrive on connection. Every time you hug someone, say a kind word, or simply smile, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It lowers blood pressure, reduces stress, and speeds muscle recovery. Love in medical terms is a biological therapy, but in human terms, it's the purest form of life itself. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, who would you like to thank today? Who could you call? Or simply say, I miss you. Do it. Not because they need to hear it, but because your body needs connection too. Every time you give love, you also receive healing. I once met an 80-year-old woman named Margaret. She walked with a cane, but every day she baked cookies for her neighbors. I asked Margaret why. Don't you just rest, she smiled softly. Doctor, when I give, my heart feels strong again. That sentence was the most beautiful melody I've ever heard. My friends, we can nourish the body with food, sleep, movement, vitamins, and sunlight, but nothing nourishes deeper than love and connection. A hug, a thank you, a sincere conversation. Sometimes those are the most powerful medicines of all. If you've made it this far in our journey, remember your body is still listening to you. Every choice, every habit, every breath can be the start of a new beginning. Start today. Eat mindfully, move regularly, sleep deeply, replenish what your body needs. Bask in the light, live with gratitude, and stay connected to the ones you love. Because turning 50 isn't the beginning of decline, it's the moment you learn to live wisely with your own body. If this video touched your heart, please subscribe, share it with someone you love, because sometimes one story today can change someone's life tomorrow. Thank you, my friends, for walking this journey with me. I'll see you in the next video where together we'll continue to rediscover strength, peace, and joy at every age of life.